Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Well, it's happening. After years of community speculation and long-standing lore anticipation, the mythical Panther Clipper Mk II, the largest trading vessel ever teased in the Elite Dangerous universe, is finally going to come into the game, into focus, such as it were. First shown in concept form from decades ago in Frontier Elite 2 and later referenced in multiple unofficial design mock-ups and internal data mines, the Panther Clipper now steps into the Elite Dangerous spotlight as the spiritual heir, you could say, to the Type 9 and Cutter. So let's hope it's a lot better than the Cutter and the Type 9. It's going to be scaled for a new age of cargo logistics, colonization, and fleet-based multiplayer gameplay, I would imagine. It's no good, in my opinion, the Panther Clipper just being a ship with a good heritage. It's got to deliver. It's got to be a cut above the Type 9 and the Cutter. It's got to have a purpose. And let's face it, let's hope Frontier don't get this one wrong. Now, the original Panther Clipper was a gargantuan, heavy cargo vessel. It was a big unit. It featured in Frontier Elite 2, that came out in 1993, and manufactured by Zorgon Peterson, I believe, the same firm behind ships as the Fertile Ants. With a draw-dropping cargo capacity of 2,000 tons, the Panther Clipper towered over every other freighter in the game, often used by corporations or pirates who needed to brute force logistics with zero subtlety. Now here we are in 3309. The Mk II is emerging once again from the shadows, not just as a nostalgia, but also potentially the cornerstone of new economy and certainly new gameplay. So what do we know so far? Well, very little, other than the fact that I think it's a Zorgon Peterson ship. The visuals with the engine clusters seems very aggressive. It seems like a nice big unit, and it's got an intended role as a massive freighter. Really good for colonization. But all this came out of the April 2025 Frontier livestream, and there was an enormous amount of community speculation around it. Frontier has not yet confirmed stats or pricing, but the fact that the Panther Clipper Mk II exists as a rendered model and not shown off in the engine suggests a near future release window. And who knows? So let's get those tinfoil speculation hats on. Let's face it. So how big do we think is big? Well, let's face it, like we said at the beginning of the video, it's got to beat the Type 9 and Cutter. Otherwise, what's the point? So if you think about this, the Type 9 Heavy, max cargo, unshield, is 790 tons, and the Imperial Cutter, with optimised internals, the max cargo is 792. So a lot of people are agreeing that the Panther Clipper should be at least 1,200 tons of capacity, which kind of makes sense. And anything less, I think it's going to fall flat, and the community are going to complain against it. People are also anticipating this to be slow and with limited jump range. But with the new SEO FSDs knocking around, and every community goal seems to be coming with a host of heavily modified internal components, should we say these days, I wonder how far this is actually going to go. But if you look at the hull and the handling, I think anything between 1,200 and 1,500 tons I think would be good. And then, you know, shielding, it's got to be better than the Type 9, but then probably not as good as the Cutter. And then with maneuverability, I would say we're kind of looking at Type 9, flying dinner plate sort of thing. With the top speed, I don't think we're really going to hit much over 200 unengineered, and those thrusters are going to have to be a Class 8 unless they bring new thrusters into the game. Now, if you look at it laden, we're looking probably with the standard SEO, and it's going to come with SEO FSD overcharge on it, it's going to be about 10 to 12 light years, I would imagine. And as Braben has said, large pads only, and it will fit through the entrance and egress point on a Coriolis starport. So, I dare say it'll be the slowest thing in the game, but that's okay, as long as it hauls an absolute load. Now for me, there are problems that the Panther Clipper must solve. For example, the cutter and the Type 9 have long filled the cargo niche, but they lack variety. For years, no new trade-focused vessel has entered the game in the large section of things. I mean, yes, we have the Type 8, but it's a medium ship, and it's very good, you know, and some people have been banging around in the Corsair. I get it. But here's the thing. Combat ships like the Alliance Chieftain and Mamba and science ships like the Crate Phantom took the limelight, leaving cargo players with a bit of stagnation. The Panther Clipper should answer that call. Frontier has hinted that new mechanics involving colony support, megaship logistics and settlement expansion may also debut. But these features demand ships that can move hundreds if not thousands of supplies, serve multi-crew roles and dock with carriers or offload externally. The Panther Clipper is the obvious logistical tool for this. And you know, if Frontier is serious about colony mechanics, they need to give us the tools to do the job. And the Panther Clipper could be it. So what's going to make or break this ship? Well, getting the cargo size wrong. That's the big humdinger, isn't it, really? And I think it's a great PR opportunity. The Clipper is a marketing person's dream. People have been after this ship for God knows how long. Frontier's Odyssey is still recovering, you could say, from mixed reviews, with the tides certainly turned in its favour. But a powerful, well-executed launch of this Panther Clipper, along with all the popularity of what's come in with system colonisation, is really going to do a lot to shift community sentiment. But what are the drawbacks and dangers? Well, you know, if this ship is so big for Coriolis or Orbis stations, it could block up the slot, allowing one ship like that in and out. Okay, sometimes you can eke through with some of the other ships, not with this. And then fuel consumption. Large frame ships, such as this one we're assuming, is going to suffer from poor fuel consumption and terrible jump range. Unless they make a change. So, is it going to be a PvP magnet, like the Type 9s? I always like a Type 9. Type 9 pops into a combat zone, for example, I'm on it like a car bonnet. The Panther might become a gank bait if you play in open, and even if you've got some unscrupulous commanders and you play in private. But let's talk about the community wish list. People are asking for a lot of this stuff on the forums. Dedicated trade UI for large shipments. Mobile fleet-based functions, refuel, repair, small module vending. A cargo tractor beam animation. I know, they're asking for this, and that would be cool. A carrier summon, like nav function, and also additional autopilot assist for docking. This is going to be a big unit. You get it wrong, it's going to cost you the earth. Let's face it. And also, players want exclusive cosmetics or livery systems to show off the scale of the ship. In short though, right, the Panther Clipper 2 is more than just a new ship. It's a symbol of the intent of Frontier, I believe. If it delivers on expectations, it could breathe even more new life into the freight gameplay of system colonization. Revive multi-crew roles, elevate Elite Dangerous's trade ecosystem. If they get it wrong, if it flops, it'll be remembered as a cargo reskin no better than a souped up Type 8 or cutter. But I remain optimistic. The render is majestic, absolutely fantastic, and the lore behind this ship is thick. And the need from the community is real. So as someone who's flown every ship in Elite Dangerous since it launched, I think I'm looking forward to all the hype and the release. You let me know in the comments what you think about the Panther Clipper. What's going to do it for you? What points has it got to hit? I'd be really interested. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon.